go.
And there's nothing else I can say to that, but damn.
This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
Rasslin Rage t-shirts are available on prowrestlingtees.com/Rasslin Rage. Just click the link in the description to visit our store on Pro Wrestling Tees website. Every shirt is 100% cotton and available in sizes up to 5X. Show your love for Rasslin Rage and get yours today.
It is your favorite social media influencer turned professional wrestler, Forever Young, and you are watching Rasslin Rage.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling enthusiasts from around the globe? Welcome to tonight's live interview. I'm Cody Fleming, and I couldn't be more thrilled to kick off our brand new series, Beyond the Mitten, Voyage of the Victors. Got to make sure we say that right. This series promises to unravel the inspiring journeys of independent wrestling legends from Michigan and how they have ventured far and wide to make their mark. I want to remind all of you wonderful people out there, do not forget to subscribe to this wonderful channel because, you know, you want to be reminded when, you know, what's going on here in this great state of Michigan. I used to have a really cool thing that came up and said subscribe, but it's disappeared apparently. I don't know. New software, new things, and that's how it goes. But please subscribe. There's a button on the YouTube thing there. It's red. If it's red, you're not subscribed. Click it, make it gray. Now you're subscribed. While you're at it, slide over to the right slightly. There's a bell. You want to be notified when we go live with interviews or the next one, like Isaiah Broner that's coming up. That's going to be on the 17th. And I got some other ones I'm lining up as well. But, hey, if you want to be notified, make sure to click that bell. While you're at it, make sure you click that big thumbs up. We want to do that as well. We appreciate that. Now, we're going to have Karam here in a few short seconds, but I want to remind all of you that you can follow Karam on his Instagram at Karam. I'll just spell it because I don't want to say it wrong. IZZAT. You can also follow him on his Twitter with the same, exactly the same, right? And then he has merch on www.blinddogmerch.com. That's down in the description as well. So you can definitely give that a look and see what he's got available. I went on there and looked. He's got 2 awesome shirts. So definitely check that out. Tonight, we have the immensely talented Karam joining us. For those eager to connect and follow his journey even closer, all of his social media information is conveniently listed in that description below. Make sure you show him some love. Sit tight, stay excited, and let's embark on this voyage together. It's time to go beyond the mitten. When I come back, I will be joined by Karam. It's going to be a good time.
It's time to talk about Michigan, independent wrestling. Tune into the channel, check your internet connection. Cody, Danny, Josh, they're the best at breaking down the matches into each and every segment. Michigan, independent wrestling. Tune into the channel, check your internet connection. Cody, Danny, Josh, they're the best at breaking down the matches into each and every segment.
Bam! And here we are, and there he is. Hello to you. Welcome back. before I ask or say anything, I want to tell you, it's been 4 years, almost 4 years since you've been back on this channel.
Yeah, I remember I was in the car in our first one. Yeah, man, that was so long ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of
Good to
things
see you,
have
man.
changed.
Yeah, I know. Lots. Yeah.
Lots have changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, how the hell are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm good. I feel good, healthy. I cannot complain. Wrestling's going well, and life's going good. So I can't complain. I appreciate you asking me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you? How's
I'm
everything with
doing
you?
all right. Things have really started to pick up for me as well. And you know how things go sometimes in this world of professional wrestling. It gets going, then it just it goes.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of happened with me right now. And I'm like, oh my
Very
God.
cool.
Like, can we just take a minute?
You're right.
Can I take a second?
Yeah, man. It's a roller coaster. You'll get your downtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cool.
Absolutely. This weekend was pretty nuts here in the States. So yeah, I feel that. All right, man. So let's delve into this. For those of you out there that haven't been paying attention on social media, this series is to talk to Michigan guys or ladies or people, whoever, right? That are either from Michigan or have done some wrestling here in the Michigan and somehow influenced the scene of independent wrestling here in the state, and not only worked in the state of Michigan, but have gone outside the borders, which, beyond the Mitten.
Absolutely.
And even out of the country, right? So before I ask you stuff about, the traveling, let's talk about the Mitten a little bit. What are some of those challenges that you faced early in your career, especially here in the state of Michigan?
Honestly, when it comes to just frustrations, I think it's just starting out. I think we all know that starting out as an independent professional wrestler is not an easy task to do. So I think just the struggles of it is really, you have to learn how to balance, sacrifice certain work just to get your first $20 per match.
Right.
Really just, so it's really kind of like you gotta, I don't know if we could swear or anything, but
you're good, dude.
You gotta eat shit for a little while,
Right.
And then it's expected. Sometimes, you worked for free. At least when I started, you worked for free and you traveled 12 hours to do 20, I know we're in the focus in the state of Michigan, but yeah, it's really just kind of like proving yourself and proving that you're of value and kind of like that. Okay. Yeah. You look good, but let's see what you got, kid. Right.
Right.
So, and then, I even looking the part that kind of, I think puts more of a target on your back. Like, let's see what you really got. We got to see if you can work, and I think when you have people like the Monroes, and places like that, where you want to really be deserving for the spot that they give, you got to work harder. So I think that was it. Just kind of like, okay, I'm not just a body guy. I got to show them and earn this and build my brand. And then, hopefully get exposure the correct way.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a big thing.
Right. Yeah.
Can you share any specific experiences or matches from your time in Michigan that shaped you as a wrestler?
Yeah, so in my first year of wrestling, actually my first when I got chosen to do Evolve debut at Evolve Wrestling when it was thriving at the time, my debut was actually in Livonia, Michigan.
Oh,
and that was in Evolve, so it was kind of like that. I would think I was like, not too far into the business. I think less than a year officially. And being put in that spot, like, hey, here you go. Now you're streaming. You're doing all this. It was kind of like, I was like, oh my gosh, So it kind of got thrown at me right away, So I think that was probably like the biggest one, and it happened to be at my hometown. I mean, we're close to my hometown,
right?
I live 10 to 15 minutes from the venue, and like, oh man, this is the biggest opportunity of my life, and I get to do it right by where I grew up.
Right, that is really cool.
But going more into like the deeper roots of Michigan wrestling, I would say when I teamed with Jake Something at Clash Wrestling against the Lotus, Gavin Quinn and Juntai, at the time we were really like established tag team. And then being in the ring with a veteran like Jake, who really took me under his wing, as and educated me. Those were one of those experiences that like people like beg to have. You're in a ring with three dudes who really molded the generation before us, before me and Tommy Vendetta and Hotch. It was those guys. So being in the ring with those guys and learning, that helped mold me a lot, you know. And
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, that was an experience for sure.
Right. I did read somewhere, like in a prior interview that you did, I can't remember, it was another podcast. I was kind of doing some research online and stuff like that. And it was something along the same lines of that. And talking about how you and you worked with Jake Something for a while.
Yeah.
That really did help you in your career. What kind of influence did Jake Something have in itself? Like, was there something specific that he taught you that really stuck with you, or?
Man, you know, I surrounded myself with just a good group of guys along with Jake. Jake's really like the guy who trained me, like took me on the road. And so before that, it was Aaron, and Aaron introduced me to Jake. And then, you know, we just kind of drifted closer, and then he really became a big brother to me. Yeah. So with that and having that, he just taught me confidence, presence, you know, believe who you are. We all go through wrestling school, and we go through the 12 weeks, but after those 12 weeks, you don't necessarily know who you are, and you just know, you know, the technicalities of things, but discovering who you are and becoming something or someone in this business, I think that comes with being on the road. And I think being with Jake on the road, the majority of my career so far, you know, taught me lots.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm thankful in not in wrestling itself, but just life, is that there's some people that just have that ability to coach, guide, and lead people. And I'm thankful for those types of people that I've found in my life as well. So I can only imagine what kind of thankfulness you have for that, because I mean, my martial arts background and the people that taught me martial arts, I'm very, very thankful to those people.
Yeah.
So I totally get
how many people can say they tag team with Rohit Raju, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. The hustle and the muscle, right?
You know, and learning from him. Oh my gosh, you know, former X Division Impact champion, you know, stuff like that. So I surround myself with good guys, man. I think that's really important thing to do in this business, is just surround yourself with people who can help you grow and want to see you achieve good things. You know, it's easy to take, you know, the wrong routes and stuff when you have genuine people who are genuinely good at what they do, and they have passionate, you know, passion and love for the business. It's easy to find those people and to really take you to the right direction from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's good that you have that too, because you got to surround yourself with those types of people, because this is the place, you know, there are bad, for every good thing, there's a bad thing. And it doesn't matter where that could be in its life, wrestling, whatever. Yep. But there are people in this business that will try to take advantage of you. So, absolutely. Now, you know, going outside of Michigan, we talked a little bit previously. You did a tour over in Germany, and you know, you Evolve, and you've been down to Florida, and you know, FIP heavyweight champion and all that good stuff. How did you manage to break out of Michigan and start wrestling nationally and internationally? Because man, I see like all the time you're all over the fucking place, man. You know what I mean? If you're out in Chicago, you're over here. If you're there, you know, whatever it is. How did you get there? I want people to know that it wasn't just good looks, right? It took work.
It's half the battle, but there's more to it.
Right.
Look, it's no secret, man. And I think I'm going to sound like everybody else. I put myself out there. I drove 12 hours to Kansas City to do scrambles to get $20, because someone over there is going to see this and be like, oh, this guy might have some money to him. So it was really just like, my whole thing is, it's like, look, you can wrestle every weekend at different states, but like, if there's not really like exposure there, pick and choose your battles. So my goals were travel and expand, but okay, I went to Florida to do the Evolve seminar tryout. Why? Because I'm like, look, I have something. I've been in for less than a year, but I have something. And those are the people that I want to see that. So I went there, got the right eyes on me. When you have the right eyes on you, then it starts to boom. So what did I do? I was like, okay, let me go to Evolve, because Gabe, you know, his word and his booking, that kind of makes sense, right? I looked kind of like a WWE style of, you know, build, and the way I kind of carry myself and wrestle. It is a very, like, I like to wrestle a TV style. So I knew doing that, sweet. Did that, got scouted, got picked out of 40 people. From there, I got on Evolve. That Evolve opened the door to a lot of things. Right after that, AAW, which I was going and showing face before that, AAW got to see me work with a stream, working cameras, working everything. Okay, this kid has some money. Let's book him. From there, now I'm doing Chicago. After that, I drove myself to New York to do the Evolve stuff. After that, I drove myself to Atlanta to do other things. So, and then I drove myself to Boston to do Beyond. Like, I ate a lot of shit. I invested a lot in myself. I invested a lot in my physique. I invested a lot in my gear. And like I said, dude, like I said before, you got to eat shit to earn shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, like, when people see it, oh, he looks good. And yeah, some things moved fast, but it's because I made the right decisions and I asked the right questions and I worked with the right people.
Right.
You know, it's not just about, okay, your foot's in the door now, you're in the business. It's not just about being in the business and chilling backstage, shaking your hands respectfully. There's still a lot of fucking work to do after that, you know? And if I'm saying that, if anybody thinks I have it easy, if I'm saying that and you think I have it easy, then think that you have to work 10 times harder. That was my mentality. Everyone's route is different. Yeah. But sorry, I went on a little rant.
No, you're good.
But yeah, just when you travel, go to the right places, show up, build, tear down the ring, do all that stuff. We've all done it. And then after that, earn your opportunity, showcase, present what makes you different, and then go from there, you know?
Well, speaking of, because, you know, like, you have a very big physique. You're a big guy, you know,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're right. You got the muscle, right?
Yeah.
But even that isn't something that came natural, right? You weren't always a big dude.
No, I was a skinnier dude. Yeah.
There was this transition that happened, right? And you just kicked ass and took some names.
Yeah.
And now you're beefcake, right? You're like,
so.
You're a beefcake, right? So, I mean, that took a lot.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard work in itself there.
I started working out at like 15 years old, 14 years old, you know, and I'm 27 now. So it takes a long time, and I think people don't realize that, and they want to point, well, taking this, taking that, regardless of anything. It just, you got to put in the work, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to go work out.
Yeah, pretty much. It's part of the job. It's part of the job. You know, I truly believe wrestling is for everybody. You know, I think it's great. We have all shapes and sizes, different people, different characters. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, like, you need to go. If you can go, I don't care how you look. You know what I mean? Not everybody's going to be a bodybuilder, but everybody needs to be able to go. Like, if you can go, you got my respect regardless of how you look. But you just need to go. You know, protect me, protect yourself. We're good to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the start, right? You did the tryout for Evolve, and that kind of started things, and you got the right eyes on you. Well, at some point, some eyes in other countries seen you, and you did what was it, a tour in Germany?
Yeah.
And how was how was it different from the US, the wrestling? And particularly, I mean, so give me like US, and then what was different about Germany to Michigan?
You know, that's like an interesting question, because my style of wrestling is I like to be moldable with whoever I work with. So
absolutely,
my style is going to be anywhere that I could wrestle anywhere with anybody, and I can adapt and mold. And I think that does help because I am a bigger guy too. You know, but getting back to it, in Germany, you know, I don't want to say the fans are less like smart to like the business, but it was very much easy to structure things, and they were into it. And you know, I don't want to say it's basic, but you know, it's a little bit different than the States, right? With the States, I think the fans they expect more, and they want you to kind of earn their cheers a little more, and there's more risk there. I think you could actually, you know, work a little bit more old school. There's the word I'm looking for. It's more old school.
Okay.
You know, and I'm a fan of old school wrestling. I watch stuff from 89 to like 93, stuff like that. Maybe even a little bit before, you know, some 70s stuff. So the way it's like, so what I did there is I took that old school skeleton and just modernized it a little bit, and it was just fun. You know, it was a little bit more simplistic in a good way, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah.
It does, absolutely.
Right.
Because I have only been out of state once to watch wrestling, and
Gotcha.
it was totally different because they were not rowdy. They weren't loud. They sat on their hands, and I was like, "This is totally different to me."
Yo, dude, the German crowd is awesome. I had long hair at the time, and they were singing like this old traditional song about like pretty hair and stuff like that, and they were just they're really loud and invested, but they're just loving everything. They're loving the one punch, the one kick, the pose, and just kind of like that pace of the style I like. So I really enjoyed it. I always say, like, dude, I'll do like a year tour in Germany. I'll stay there and do it there.
Sweet.
For real, I love it. I love it.
I bet. I've gone to the country a couple times, and besides Canada, because Canada doesn't count. Not for me, anyways. I grew up.
I mean, it's the same. Yeah,
it's like I grew up here, like by a bridge. I can go to Canada anytime, but it's still legally allowed. But anyways, on to the next subject. What did you learn from your experience in the UK that you brought back to here with you?
Oh, in Germany, it was honestly, man, dude, that you can learn so many different things from different places, and even like when you wrestle in the Midwest and you wrestle to the South, it's going to be different. But like, it was cool to just see like how just the shows are ran and the things. So I don't know. With every match that I was there, I grew and adapted to things and adapted to like the culture and how they respond to things. And I think it's important. It just goes back to it's important to travel, man. Like be the most. Like expand and broaden your I advocate any Michigan wrestler or who's upcoming to just get like, it's work in your state and develop yourself in your state, but you gotta go and travel, because not only for the exposure, but just you're gonna learn so much more than wrestling with just in a one state, you know what I mean? One country. Like, get information from everywhere, man. And you're
not gonna learn anything fighting the same guy all the time.
No, man, you'll regress or get stuck. And just talking and calling matches with people where English isn't their first language, can be a challenge of its own. And I think that's just part of what makes us connected, right? Mm-hmm. So it's cool, man. It really is cool. So I hope that I answered your question.
Now, so we kind of talked about this already. But, there's a kind of training, there's a kind of discipline, and there's sacrifices that come with, first of all, just being a professional wrestler in itself.
Right.
The travel and being away and things like that. But can you tell me, like, at the level you're competing at currently, what kind of training are you doing? What kind of discipline do you have to have? And what kind of sacrifices are you making to be a professional wrestler?
Well, in everyday life, you're sacrificing, a normal life, because you got to find a job that works with the structure of the business that you're in. So that's always, finding a good job is always, a tough one. But, luckily it took me a while to find that balance though. And you gotta do that part intelligently, man, because as much as wrestling is important, so is your personal life. Because if your shit isn't together in your personal life, it's going to bleed into your art, and you're not going to enjoy it. And you don't want wrestling to be an escape. You want wrestling to be something that's part of this beautiful life of yours, inside and outside of the ring. It took me a lot of time to find that balance. And when you don't have that balance, it's easy to get depressed. It's easy to get sad and be like, why isn't things going the way it should? So, finding that balance is probably the number one difficulty. But once you do, and once you have that, you're going to be so happy because you're doing what you love, and then you're also taking care of yourself. So that's first and foremost, number one. I work out 4 to 6 times a week, just depending how many bookings I have. I try to get my cardio in there. I can go on and on about that type of thing, but there's so much knowledge and everything out there. And even on my social media, I tend to post like my fitness things too, and you could always get information from there. But yeah, man, it's just a daily discipline. Just take it one day at a time. Taking it one day at a time could be tough. So yeah, man, you have your shit together, have the discipline, train. If you love it, you're going to train for it and it won't feel like a job, all that shit. And yeah, man, I think those are the two things that are really like outside of the ring are the most important. And then, just
So,
really true. Yeah.
With that, what is something you feel like you're sacrificing to be the professional wrestler?
Like it's easy to find comfort in, okay, I want just a 9-to-5 job so I can feel stable and and I never have to freaking worry, right?
Right.
Well, like, when you're a wrestler, you're taking a risk, not only like mentally, physically, but just money wise, you're really betting on yourself. And I think the biggest sacrifice is not just going for comfort, because anybody can go for comfort and be happy, but it's what makes, for real, but this builds character, struggling, part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The broke rock star and doing those things. And once you get past that, man, you become more appreciative anyways. So yeah, that's probably like the biggest struggle, man, is really like, I'm all about like, as I'm getting older, just the mental health of it all, and just like find your balance. You need to be a balanced person before you put all your marbles into one thing. Because if you don't have that balance, you're not going to last. You're going to get sad. And you're going to forget why you love it. So I'm all about that mental health and balance now, man. I work out not only for, to be in shape, but it also just helps me mental, you got to take care of yourself up here or you're never going to, so
Absolutely. That's some good advice though. Mental health is one of those, especially male mental health, right? Men's mental health.
Yeah.
There's a stigma to it. And I know I've suffered from depression in my lifetime, and I've had to get help in my time. And I always advocate that if you feel, anybody out there, if you feel like it's too much, go seek out professional help.
Always.
And I have done it and it has helped me. So please
do
the same. I'm not saying you specifically, but if you're out there struggling, please do.
We all go through something every day, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta talk about it more. So.
I totally agree. Can you share some of your, for you, like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that says, hey, here is Karam's career highlights, but what's your career highlights like in your mind?
My career highlights. We talked about Evolve. Did my stunt with Beyond. Having a good run at AAW, which it's not the end for me there. It's just we take breaks and we just how the indies are.
For sure.
Being on GCW recently in Detroit was a huge thing. I couldn't make this one, just had some other like personal obligations. but I think to be able to build a future with them and Effie's Big A brunch shows, which I'm going to be at September 4th in Chicago. Ooh. So I think right now, I think it's great that I have the door open at a place like GCW. This is another place where I advocate, Michigan wrestlers to show up, help out, and do what you can to get an opportunity. I think right now that those have been my biggest opportunities and have given me the most exposure. So I'm going to go with those are probably like my highlights. One of my proudest achievements is being the inaugural champion of the Sanctuary Fight Club, which is a newer local indie. I think it's only about 4 years old. I remember we were wrestling there in front of 10 people, and now we get like sold out crowds all the time. And having that championship for a long time, establishing that name, that brand, and what we do there, I'm really proud of that, and what Rich does with that and everything. So I think those are my achievements, and I like that I have like a good Michigan achievement too, because at the end of the day, it is my home, and I want wrestling to be great. I want it to thrive here. So that's a good highlight. And then just really doing the stuff with GCW has been a really big highlight of my career this year.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. They gave me an opportunity to wrestle with Fred Rosser, and that's really cool. So, and that I think showcased my ability to really open more doors this year. This has been the best year. Even like being overseas last year, this has been the best year of my wrestling career so far.
Good. That's good to hear. You're in a good spot too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, so we talked about, earlier you were talking about the guys, you encourage them to travel, get outside, stuff like that. Is there other advice that you could share for aspiring wrestlers from Michigan or maybe anywhere that might be watching this
Yeah.
who are dreaming of following in your footsteps and getting into spots like GC Dub and things like that, or maybe AEW or what, you know?
Absolutely. Don't take shortcuts, you know, and don't try to be a big fish in a little pond. I think it's easy to feel comfort in that. I always wanted to wrestle at places where I felt like I was the shits, you know. I was, you know, I always want. So go out of your comfort zone, you know, build your travel, you know, just the basics, man. It sucks because I want to like just say things that are so original, but it's really like everyone's going to tell you the same thing. It's like,
Right.
Hey man, once you're cleared.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody listens though.
Right. You know, no, they don't. And, you know, I've offered, you know, I'm not going to get into that anyway.
Right.
You know, it's all positive.
Right.
But when someone offers you a ride in a spot in the car and you might not get a spot, you might will. You have your briefcase, you know, take those chances when you're first starting out, man. Because that goes along.
Can I stop you for a second? So what you're saying to me is that Karam worked his way up the ladder. Nothing was given to you.
No.
Okay, that's fair. And so, as big as you are, okay, you still work to get as big as you
have
are.
to.
After you got as big as you are, you still could not just walk into, say, Evolve and all of a sudden everybody was going, oh my God, look at this guy. You actually had to put in the work to get to that. Is that what you're saying?
Look, man, 100%.
Okay.
Look, like, it's weird because like saying, oh, he has a physique, that's an easier thing. Like you have to work for that part, right? So like, but yeah, it helped. I worked for that, but yes, that helped open the door, but it's also, let's see what you got. You can't, you know, no matter who you are, man, like you still got to work hard and it takes time. And some people get signed at 17 or 18. Some people get signed at 34. But at the end of the day, you got to put in this.
Wasn't DDP like 44 or something like that?
Boom. You know what I mean? So it's really just like, man, that's another thing. Focus on you. Focus on your story. Focus on every day, one day at a time. Build your brand. Take the opportunities. Because if you don't take the opportunities, no one is going to see you. As fun as it is to work in front of 300 people or 400 people in a local Michigan, you know, show, like it's good at it. It's great. And it's awesome. You still have to get exposure elsewhere. Don't be stagnant. Don't get comfortable, because once you're comfortable, you're not going to want to grow. My only thing is like, I try to pick apart everything. Watch your matches, study them, ask people advice, you know, try things, and don't try to be the other person. Like, and again, I'm kind of going on a tangent. I'm kind of all over the place.
No, this is great stuff. I love it. Keep going.
So, like, I never wanted to just wrestle like some other guy. I had like a structure, like, okay, I'm a bigger guy, so I got to do this and that. But I was all about, like, I noticed just so many people want to wrestle like the coolest thing. No, dude, you have to hide your weaknesses and showcase your strengths. Yeah, my physique is good, so I'm going to take my time and showcase my money. Because what's my money? It is my physique. You know, the fall away slam. Let's see big motherfucker do a fall away slam. That's my money. You know, don't try to pop the boys in the back. Try to get the best reaction for that you can give to the fans, and that's organic to you. Because, like, dude, I'd rather do like 4 things that I could do 100%. Boom! Oh, that was fucking sweet. As opposed to, wow, I can do everything, but they're all subpar. So find your craft, find your originality, do the things that make you you. You know, dude, there's like a silhouette thing. Like if you saw a silhouette of somebody, and if you saw a silhouette of Karam, you didn't see anything but you know that's Karam. You see a silhouette of Jake something, that you know that's Jake something. But if you're just dressed the same as everyone else, everyone wants to wear jeans, and everybody's like, you know, has the flippy hair and there's a silhouette of you, and you're doing something, and it looks like the same NZ and super kicks or whatever, like everybody else. That doesn't make you original. Does that make sense?
It does.
So find your originality. Don't try to do what's cool. Try to just be original. Hide your weaknesses. Showcase your strengths, and then boom, you're gonna find out who you are. But if everyone's gonna try to be Adam Cole, then that ain't cool, bro.
Right.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I hear you, dude. I
Yeah.
fucking hear you. I do.
Bro, me and Josh are complete opposites, and that's why we make such good opponents, because we are literally the opposite. Like, we're not trying to do the coolest shit that the other person does. Like, we're completely different. You have to be different than your opponent. Be different, because once you're different, you find your money. Dude, oh, man, yeah. It gives me goosebumps talking about that shit. Dude.
I love it.
You know?
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. So I think we kind of touched this already. We touched upon this, So the next question would be, what do you think are the key factors that have allowed you to transcend the local scene and make an impact globally? But I think with everything that you just said and that advice that you just gave, I think that's what it is right there. Is that you're different. You may not have been different when you started, but you found a way to be different.
Take risks. I cut all my freaking hair off and I bleached it. Take risks. You know?
I love it.
Everyone told me not to do that, by the way. Everyone was like, don't do that. Huh?
Is it working?
Yeah, dude. I looked because I was always compared to somebody. I was compared to Aquaman, Roman Reigns, Moana, Maui. Now it's like, oh, he's just a big Arab with bleached hair. There's nothing.
That's exactly what you want, though, right?
Exactly.
So you're not like everybody. So
exactly, I'm different. Find the difference. Be different and be you. And I found myself a little more this year. And that also helps. Is be authentic to you.
Absolutely. So we kind of talked about Jake something a little bit and Aaron Orion, but can you talk about any other role models or mentors who have greatly influenced you in your career of professional wrestling?
Nate Matson. Nate, I go to all the time, man. And dude, I don't think
24 years in the business. I mean,
yeah. And dude, I don't think people understand, like, do you know how lucky you are to have someone like that in the locker room who will like watch your match? He watches everything. Like, dude, he watches everything, but he's not going to just go up to you and be like, yeah, I watched your match and this and that. No, dude, he watches everything. You should be lucky a guy like that watches everything. Every time I'm in a show with him, I go to the basket, hey man, did you catch that? He tells me advice every time, no matter what. I don't care if I'm 30 years in the business and he's retired for 15, I'm going to send him matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having someone in the back right now who is wrestling, any Michigan dude, he's like, you have to, like, bro, respect the business. Go shake his hand, ask him how he liked your match. Take it personally, because what he's telling you, if he's telling you did something wrong, you probably did something wrong. And I think that kind of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like, seriously, like, if you have someone that can literally tell you everything that you did wrong and right, and someone as intelligent as that, take advantage of it. That's another thing. He's one of the guys I look up to 100%. Crimson, I had a match with recently, CK Crimson. Dude, that's another guy. Hey, man, if he's in the locker room, you ask him for advice. And I had a killer match with him. And you want to know something? I was like, dude, this is what I do. I'm all ears. Tell me. I'm going to ask questions as you're talking. I'll come up with certain things, but I want you to teach me. Today is an educational day. I got my notes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Seriously, there's like green people that get to have the opportunity to work with these guys. Dude, appreciate it. That's all you got to do.
Savor the moment. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I respect Nate a lot. He's definitely like one of the people that's very important to me in this business for sure.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So what's next for you?
I have a few shows. Oh, you know what? This is good. What's next for me?
Yes.
Rarity. This is such a rare matchup. It's August 19th at Metro Pro. Dude,
okay.
Karam, Tommy Vendetta, Jason Hotch, triple threat match.
That's going to be good.
Dude, shout out to Metro Pro for booking a match like that, because you don't get to see that match often, Right. So shout out with that. That's gonna be a big one. Highly recommend anyone to come to that show. Bubba is awesome. One of my favorite promoters in Michigan. I have you know what? I'm gonna keep that one a secret. But I have another one coming up that's local. I may have spilt the beans a little bit, but you don't know what I'm doing. After I have War Wrestling coming up in Lima, Ohio. And I have Effie's Big Gay Brunch for GCW that's coming up September 4th. Yeah, I have shows down the line, but I'll post them as they come. Follow me on social media to get more of a structured way. It's Karam Izet, actually. I saw that you were so Karam Izet. It's my grandfather's name. Fact that no one really knows, so you got to hear it here. But yeah, that's what's coming up. Excited.
Yeah, that is awesome. Now, so we talked about those matches. What are the long-term goals for you in professional wrestling?
I mean, man, I think some people's goals aren't a contract, but it'd be nice to have a contract, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I think that should be a goal. I don't know where. I don't kind of care where. Obviously, if it makes sense, I will. Yeah. There's not really. But to go a little more overseas, broaden my places there. I have some goals in mind. Kind of break into the UK a little more into Europe, and I think I would do very well in Japan. So hopefully I get the right eyes on me there.
That would be really nice to get a couple years over there in Japan.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
I think it's doable. I think
absolutely.
I'm confident in that. I think
you come back home and you'll speak fluent Japanese, and we won't even understand what you're saying to us, and like
you'll just, Karam desu. That's good. Yeah,
so you already know
a little bit of it. Yeah.
Oh,
I studied Japanese.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You seriously? So I just found out something I didn't know. So
yeah,
I know a little
Japanese. Yeah.
You're not fluent or?
Oh, it's broken now. I'm still learning. I do my 20 minutes a day. I've been doing that for about 2 years, so I can understand a good amount.
We just found out something that not a lot of people know. Karam is studying Japanese and can now currently speak broken Japanese and is working his way. So that's another thing on top of all the other shit he does. And it's not shit, but you know what I mean. But
20 minutes a day, study different language.
So he works out 4 to 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's also learning Japanese 20 minutes a day.
Yeah. So it's cool. Bro. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up an instrument one of these days too. Just say I do it all. I do it all.
Oh boy. Then you can come out jamming or something. I don't know. But that's somebody else. Somebody else already did that. You can't do that now.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say thank you for coming back on. It's amazing to have you here, man. Isaiah, one of your buddies. You're good, brother. He's coming on the 17th.
Yeah,
because he's one of those guys. He's out there. You don't see him very much in Michigan. We just seen him on Saturday.
Yeah,
I did for NHB versus XICW. But he's coming on, and we're going to talk in the same format and talk about outside the state and things like that. I'm really interested.
Me and him, we have the same mentality. I actually saw him the other day. He stopped by, gave him a hug. We have the same mentality. So he's definitely a brother. We need a match. Whoever's watching, if a booker is watching this, book that, because that is money. So you guys are sleeping on it, not me. But I'll plug that in there. Let him know I said what. When Bronner's here, let him know I brought him up and saying that I love him, but we need to whoop each other's asses. So.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I do want to mention one thing about this guy. He's a big sumbitch, right? And I mean that in the nicest way possible. He's a big sumbitch.
Yeah.
And you look at people like he's a big motherfucker, right? And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But he is so nice. He's such outside the ring. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He really is a nice 100%.
Guy. Yeah, he's one of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my life. Teddy bear, bro.
If you were to go just on the persona he portrays, you would not think he's an approachable person. But
but you know what? As nice as he is, I know that motherfucker can kill the son of a bitch.
Fair enough.
That's a bad motherfucker, bro.
Right. Well, again, I want to say thank you to you for joining us. Or joining me, I should say.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We click. I enjoyed it. I've been telling you, I've been wanting to get on again for a while.
I took a break because I was doing so many. I felt like it was starting to get watered down. And then you approached me and it kind of sparked an idea. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do. And I was like, okay, he wants to come on. So how can I make this different?
Right.
And not the same old shit. And I was like,
Right.
let's make it focus on the travel.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I
It's awesome, man.
Right. And here's the thing is, listen, I'm just a guy who is involved in professional wrestling, right?
Sure.
Okay, in a way, and I'm not in the business, but I'm kind of part of the business. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
What I see is sometimes is, this is my personal opinion. This is not the opinion of Karam. I see some of the young guys come in and think they're superstars already. And it's kind of getting annoying to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like they need to humble themselves and learn.
I'll tell you what, you ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I want guys like you and Tommy and Bronner and Hotch and Price and Shogun and these guys that are out there making it like, hey, you ain't shit.
Yeah, well, you know what, man? And yeah, for real, look at how many people come from Michigan. Follow these dudes. You got so many people that you can ask questions, girl. When I say you ain't shit, I'm just saying right now, I want everyone to thrive and make money in this business. I do. You know, that's what makes it cool and fun and positive. But
you
got to put in the work. You got to ask the right questions, surround yourself with the right people. There's a lot of us here. You can go up to anybody. We're all good people. And I know all those dudes you just mentioned, all of us are going to welcome you with open arms. So all you got to do is just ask the questions, and we're going to be there to help you out. So.
And that's exactly why I like you guys. And that's exactly why I reached out to those people specifically.
Appreciate you, man. Much love for real. Thank you.
So I want to remind everybody that is watching that down in the description are the links for Karam's social media, to his Instagram, to his Twitter, and to his merch site. He's got 2 t-shirts on there available that I've seen. There may be more that I may have missed, but I do see 2 on there. It's just like a t-shirt. You go on there, boom, I like this one, boom, pay, bam, they ship it.
Easy peasy.
That's what I like. I love that kind of thing, man.
Yeah.
There needs to be more of that.
Hey, man, yeah, dude, find those things. It helps a lot. Another thing that is mentioned. Yeah, find those things. It's going to help you a lot with your merch. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks
again,
so much, man.
Yeah, thank you again to Karam. To all of you out there watching, don't forget tomorrow right here on the Rasslin Rage YouTube channel, we're going to do MI-Dub, Josh and I. That's where we're going to tell you about all the information you need to attend any and all indie wrestling events happening right here in the Great Lakes state of Michigan. Also coming up, not this week, but next week on the 17th, joining me for the second interview in this awesome series will be none other than the Problem, Isaiah Bronner.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good time. He's going to share some of his insights on how to make yourself successful outside the state of Michigan. And not, I'm not saying I don't want you to be successful in Michigan, but there's a way to be more successful. And that's what we want to do. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to Karam. I hope we see you tomorrow. Have a great day. And we will be out of here in a sort. Where's it at? There it is. Wait. Bye.